Alright guys, it's the York Gliscors here bringing you the Week 2 Team Builder for the UAPB. This week, we play Casper and the LA Lake Guardians. I'd like to thank the people who helped me with nicknames. One I got from the fans, Zelda here, thank you to Raw for this nickname. And I pretty much tried my best with every other nickname. Clearly doesn't look okay, but it's okay. I hope you get any sort of reference. And yeah, so let's get right into the video. His team is looking super threatening, and I honestly had one of the hardest times trying to prep for this because it's just super scary, not knowing what to bring, not knowing what to do with what, because I'm not really sure. He has so many options what to bring, and I'm kind of forced to run certain sets on Mons because of how well his team was built, just behind Galvangelo and the Webs, and Septile being under him. It's just really hard for me to figure out what he's bringing this week. But I do see him bringing the Kieran B because Bolt Strike can deal with Manaphy. He can bring any sort of Z move, as I do believe it is a Z-Mon. And Z Ironhead can deal with both my fairy types. He can also bring Z Tectonic Rage, which does kill Rotom because of Terravolt, which ignores Levitate. I do see him possibly bringing Skarmory as his setter for Rocks, because Rocks plus Webs just whittles down my whole team, and I pretty much have only Hitmontop and Crobat as my sort of hazard removal. I do see him potentially bringing Azumarill because either Belly Drum or Bandit Azumarill does run straight through my team and only hits a couple hurdles, like trying to get over the wall of Registeel. May have trouble with Manaphy, but probably not. I honestly didn't run the calc, but I know I can, with this certain investment on Rotom Heat, I can live a Banded Aqua Jet if he's not boosted at all. But anyways, I do see him bringing Entei because Banded Entei, literally, this is my only switch in for it, and I can't do much back, to be honest. I could probably run HP Ground just for the reason, but I think Thunderbolt just does more damage in general because of stab and everything, and I don't see him staying in at all, really. So I'm just gonna click Volt Switch and get out of there. But he could just bring Stunfisk. I honestly don't see it being brought, but AV Stunfisk does wall some of my mons. I do see Blastoise as his way to get rid of Stealth Rocks, because my only spin blocker is Silvally Ghost. So he could possibly bring that. I know he's bringing the Webs. I don't see a week where he doesn't bring Webs or Septile Mega. Septile Mega just has an excellent speed tier and an incredible special attack stat, and can also be physical as well, because I do believe it gets Swords Dance. It's just an incredible mon that I really do see it being brought every single week. I don't see him bringing Meloetta. It's a potential that he does bring Weezing, but I'm not sure if Weezing can live a couple Psychics or anything. I could possibly run Psychic on Manaphy, but I'll get into the sets in just a bit. And I don't see him bringing Stunfisk. I mean, like I said, it's possible AV Stunfisk is really nice against my team, but I don't really think of him bringing it. But anyways, now we shall get into the team. I have Short Scarf Manaphy. As you can see, once again, we're running just enough speed EVs to outspeed Septile Mega, because I know Septile Mega can't be scarfed because obviously it's holding its Mega Stone. I do have Ice Beam to deal with Septile Mega because he does become a Dragon type. So this is gonna totally take care of him. I do have Energy Ball for Blastoise because I know Specialty Defensive Blastoise can just wall with this, but I might actually change it to Psychic to deal with Wheezing, or Dazzling Gleam to deal with Kieran B. I do have Surf. It's an incredible stab attack, hits Entei, Stun Fisk, and that's pretty much about it, but you know, it's stab, and it does hit incredibly hard, and U-turn. I know it's a physical attack, and I am running Modest Nature. I wanted to bring U-turn to get some sort of a momentum. I don't see him staying in when he knows I have a Manaphy and he has Entei out. I don't see him staying in, so I can just click U-turn, get out of there, get some momentum. It was something I did not get in last battle, and I really wanted to start getting some initiative and some momentum in this match. On to my next set. We have Toasted, the Rotom Heat. The Shucka Berry letting us live one Earth Power. Obviously, we don't live Tectonic Rage, but we do live in Earth Power from Kieran B. The Shucka Berry does allow us to eat it up and fire back an Overheat, which does kill after Rocks, so Rocks are pretty much essential to getting this Rotom Heat set to work. I do get Volt Switch. Like I said, I really want momentum. And Volt Switch does hit things that might come in because it's only ground immunity, Stun Fisk, and I know he might try to pivot. I know he does also have Sceptile Mega for the Lightning Rod ability, but I don't see him bringing in Sceptile Mega just because of the glaring fact that I do have Overheat. Now I am running Shadow Ball just for Miss Magios because I do see him bringing it to block my spins, so for him to keep up the webs. So I can bring Shadow Ball, take care of it, but I might change it, game time decision, and put on HP Ice to bring to lure the Sceptile Mega in and just blow it up. But I do have to run some calcs because I'm not sure if HP Ice kills. Because obviously he doesn't need to run 427 speed, max speed, either Timid or Jolly, because my team is not that fast compared to Sceptile Mega. But anyways, we have Specs, Zydoggo, Zygarde 10%. This is pretty much because I know Kieran B can live a +1 Outrage from Zygarde because of that incredible HP and defense stat. So, how do I deal with that? Well, Specs, Corn, Forcer, Okos, Kieran B. With this speed investment, I do outspeed Kieran if he's max speed, Timid or Jolly. And this also does outspeed if he is Jolly, Entei, which I don't see him being because if he wants to run Sacred Fire or anything like that, he has to be Adamant. I think E-Speed also you need to be Adamant too. So if he's Shiny, I believe that means he's Adamant, but he could use it as a bluff. Earth Power does hit that incredibly hard. Sludge Wave hits Azumarill, and pretty much anything else that wants to run into it. I believe Sceptile Mega goes down to a Specs Sludge Wave, but I could be wrong. And then we have Shockwave, because since I'm not bringing 1,000 arrows, I can't hit Skarmory. So Shockwave just hits Skarmory for a 2-hit KO, I believe, because of its really low Spadef stat. But it could be a 3-hit KO. I don't remember the calc off the top of my head, but I did put it on there as a way to deal with Skarmory. On to my next mon, we do have Zelda, Mega Gardevoir. We have Hyper Voice, just because it's an incredible attack, especially with the Pixelate that we get after Mega Evolving. I think they did nerf Pixelate to be 1.2 times now instead of 1.3. So it is kind of unfortunate because it did hit pretty hard last generation, but nevertheless it's still a good ability. Because, of course, becoming a Fairy type lets us hit dragons like Kieran B, Sceptile Mega, do an incredible amount of damage to anything. I know Hyper Voice plus Psychic does OHKO Wheezing at max Spadef unless he is EV. I do have Wish on here, just for, again, momentum. I can heal up my sweepers like Manaphy, Zydoggo, and help and Rotom Heat live more Flare Blitzes and Aqua Jets from both Azumarill and Entei. That's why I have it there. It also does let me heal up Gardevoir Mega if it gets low, but I really doubt it's living anything except a special hit from possibly Meloetta. I don't see it living anything from Mismagius or Weezing. And I have Thunderbolt, of course, for Azumarill and Skarmory. Although I do believe Hyper Voice does more damage to Azumarill, but Thunderbolt's obviously needed for Skarmory. I am running Timid. I wish I could have ran Modest, because Modest hits incredibly hard, but I kind of have to run Timid because, like I said, he has to run Adamant for E-Speed, Sacred Fire. This does let me outspeed, and Psychic does kill after a little bit of his recoil from Flare Blitzes. So that is nice. We have our Stealth Rocker, Regirock, the Registeel, rocking Rocky Helmet, because if I do get Flare Blitz or anything, he is going to lose 1/6 of his health, plus the recoil damage. Maybe he even runs Life Orb, I don't know. I just want that damage to rack up because I really scared of that Banded Entei. And maybe that is why I'm throwing myself off, because I'm looking at the big threats of his team, but the underlying mons like Weezing and Stunfisk and Meloetta that I'm possibly not preparing for are going to be able to shine. But when these huge targets, these things that can just rip straight through my team, I see them and I'm like, I have to prep for them. Because if I'm sitting here thinking, and if I don't bring enough for like a Banded Azumarill, a Banded Entei, then I'm just left getting 6-0'd. But the thing that is gonna hurt is if I don't prep for things like Weezing or Stunfisk or Meloetta. But I honestly do feel like I have them covered, in a sense. But anyway, to get back to the Registeel set, I do have Earthquake predicting Entei to come in. And it does hit Galvantula, just because it's something that's there. I did want to get an attack off. It does also hit Stunfisk, who might try to Earth Power me. If he is running max speed, he can outspeed me. He could probably speed creep, get ahead of me, which is probably why I'm running Spadef. But I did want to be kind of mixed again, like last week, because running max defense does nothing for me. Running max Spadef does nothing for me. So it's better to be in the middle. I have Stealth Rocks because I need them up. They help so much, because that does make him want times to go into Rapid Spin, and it does chip away at anything that comes in. Toxic wears down certain mons. It does help, unless he's like sub Kieran B. But I don't see why I wouldn't just click Iron Head when it's straight in front of my face. But I just like having Toxic there, putting some mons on the timer. And I do have Iron Head for a good stab attack. It does hit things like the Kieran B, and I think it hits Azumarill, but it doesn't hit it that hard. But it's there specifically for Kieran B, because I don't want it to have it click sub and then just spam Bolt Strike on this team. On to my alternate. This is going to be the biggest game time decision that I have to make, and that is to see if I want to bring the Crobat or the Hitmontop. I need something to get rid of hazards. No matter how I look at it, webs have to be coming. Webs have to be coming. I had to deal with webs week 1, and I kind of over-prepped for it, and he never brought it. But this team, I feel, most definitely relies on the Galvantula and webs, because Azumarill under webs does incredible. Kieran B under webs is incredible. Sceptile Mega is just incredible in general under webs. Blastoise could honestly even be a sweeper under webs. Mismagius is strong under webs. Honestly, anything's good under webs because I'm super slow, and he just gets to outspeed and fire off attacks. But I'm running every darn step. Crobat with Defog, like I mentioned, to get rid of those hazards. Bravebird does Oko with 0 attack investments. to a Sceptile. Hits Galvantula pretty hard, but I'm not staying in on a Galvantula. I do have U-turn to, of course, get momentum, and it's either Toxic or Super Fang that I wanted to bring. Super Fang, of course, hitting things that Brave Bird can't touch, but I did want to bring everything down through Toxic, really. Now, also, this is something I might look into, and ability Infiltrator, excuse me, ignores substitutes. So I wonder if Toxic can hit through substitutes. Not really sure. I'll have to check that before I do the battle. Really think about that, because it does ignore that. Maybe I can Toxic Kieran B through a sub. Also, Brave Bird does hit it incredibly hard, but I could potentially U-turn. Now, this Hitmon top 0-12. This is the name. I do have Rapid Spin, of course, to get rid of it. Close Combat hits things pretty hard, like Kieran B, Scar, Murray, Entei, Sceptile, Mega, Blastoise. So pretty much anything that doesn't resist it or is immune to it. Mach Punch, because this team kind of does lack priority, and I want to pick off KOs that I might. Because last week I tried that with Fake Out. Fake Out did not pick off the kills I wanted. But I am using Intimidate this week instead of Technician, just for the sole purpose of lowering attack on mons that might be threatening. And I'm also running Foresight, because of course I'm running all normal and physical moves, and this does let me hit Mismagius. Close Combat is a Close Combat plus Mach Punch does KO, and also I can wrap, instead of him spin blocking me, I can spin on him, but in a sort of kind of way, he can't stop Defog unless he sacks him on. I think that prevents Defog from working, but there's really no other way, unless he just kills Crobat, that he doesn't prevent them. Which is why I am running max speed to prevent potential Scarfers that might just try to kill me right off the bat. And I really just need the defog. So it's really gonna be when I think about this team even more and more, because this is probably one of the most scariest weeks I have to deal with. So it's just gonna be one of those game time decisions where I go, okay, right before this match, do I want to bring Crobat? Do I want to bring Hitmontop? What do I want to do? So yeah, that's pretty much my team builder. I'm really hoping to pick up a dub this week because I don't want to take another L. Fortunately, last week we were not able to win, but after watching that game a couple times from my side, just watching the replay, watching Willie's side, and really seeing what I should have done. I shouldn't have been so aggressive. I should have made bolder plays, so I'm definitely planning on doing it this week, and I'm just really hoping I can win this game, or just not get 6-0. That works too. But that is all from me. This is the Mighty Gliscor, and I'll catch you guys